Hi there. Quite late, 2:45. Or is it early? That was a funny experience. I did for the first time. I used this website, Suno, which I heard about through Jabe, I think it was. Yeah, it was through Jabe. I had no idea how it all works and everything. This AI music thing, I'd never done anything like that before. And I just thought, oh, well, I thought you'd have to pay for it or something. And I didn't, but there was a free sort of version of it. Excuse me. Wet the old whistle. And I thought I'd just try and you could do this free sort of thing, credits, whatever they call it. And I thought I'll load up some lyrics that my friend and I did for a little song. And then in a few seconds, they just had this whole song there, and I'm kind of just a weird feeling, a mixed feeling actually, of like, God, I quite like the tune they've put to it. It's different to the original tune, and I uploaded that video of the original tune that I'd kind of figured out with some chords or whatever, and the lyrics by my friend and myself together. But the version they did, it's just I had these mixed feelings of, God, that's amazing how they've just created this song with all the orchestration. And I know I've seen other people's things, but when it's kind of applied to your own words, that I've never done that before. And there was this kind of a feeling, I'm trying to describe it now, and I don't know how accurate I can be, is a kind of sadness about it. And I don't understand, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't want to necessarily pinpoint it, but there's a sadness about something to do with a machine doing something so quickly and so easily and creating something that's really, I think it sounds nice. The tune and obviously the singing and the version they've done, and sounds very professional, as in that sense. And it's so immediate and effortless. It feels, I don't know where the sadness is from, or is it sadness or is it a kind of dread? But it's also mixed with this sort of, oh, that's enjoyable, a kind of novelty sort of thing. And it's weird because, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's something to do with, is it something to do with, I'm just wondering now, creativity being taken over, or the potential for that completely, or I don't know really what it means. I don't know if I'll do another one. I might just do it just out of the novelty factor, but so I put up the next little video. I put up my own sort of version of a little home recording of, it's a different tune completely, because I didn't know what tune they were gonna do. I tried to upload one which was an audio recording of another song, which was the original tune, but it didn't seem to like I didn't like it. It didn't seem to want that. I might try that again. I don't know. And then maybe it will orchestrate it. I don't know what else it does. I know Black Squareable's also been doing ones. I listened to a couple of Black Squareables. One is also using the Suno, or trying it out, and yeah, very mixed feelings about it. Quite curious and strange. An uncanny feeling, as well as this sort of, sadness isn't quite the right word. It's like something is both there as a gain, but it's also something that's lost. Kind of, I don't know what it's all about, Alfie. I might start doing more little videos that aren't to do with as well as videos about the miscarriage of justice of Nurse Lucy Letby. I might start doing some other little things to kind of break it up a bit for myself, just because I like I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I do, and there's this other channel that some of us put together called the Consortium of Misfits, and there's a mixture of things on there, like music and poetry and other things like that, and little scenes where people go places and things like that. Consortium of Misfits. And that's nice, but I thought for this channel as well, I might just start mixing it up a little bit, because it's very heavy. It's very heavy, isn't it? And back, I think something I said in the video the other night about the dark thing about it is that maybe if it's just one thing you're trying to do, or to the exclusion of other things, or largely that, then it is that's part of the darkness, isn't it? That, and all of this is notwithstanding that we're all very much, we're hoping very much that it's going to be this year that Lucy Letby is released. Of course, that's always notwithstanding, and we're doing that, and hundreds, thousands of people are doing that now, aren't they, in different ways? And I would imagine thousands or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people are probably very, very sure of what they think now, and it's nothing to do with the monstrosity of the fiction of the dark fiction that they created. And it is going to be overturned, but the idea of them dragging it out. But see, this is becoming me talking about it in this video, which I was talking about a song or whatever. So I'm going to pull back on that for now, and still do things. I do want to go. I want to go further into the whole thing about. Can't stop myself. The thing about the North Wales thing, because there's still more to find out. I'll leave it there, because I'll just do that as it comes up, and as I get more information. It could be a sort of a no, it's not a blind alley. It's not a cul-de-sac already, because it's already established that there's extra pressure put on the Merseyside and Cheshire network. But this video isn't meant to be about that. So, but it was a funny feeling hearing this song. I can't stop listening to it, because it sounds like quite a professional, like it's a song, you'd hear on a radio or something. Ever Too Late to Shine. And then I put this very sort of obviously amateur little recording of my version of the tune, and the lyrics my friend wrote. We wrote the lyrics together some time ago, a few years back. But it's just weird. I might do other little videos talking about AI, because I've been having some little. I never thought I would even engage with it, actually, although we're probably engaging with it in lots of ways and we don't even realise it. But I might start adding other little videos to this channel. I'd stop that, and I'd put all the ones that weren't to do with a miscarriage of justice on private before, but then I put them all back on public. So why am I saying all this? I just think it's we need light and shade, and for people that, if you want to do a little channel for whatever reason, and the reason I've been focusing on, obviously, this terrible injustice is as strong as ever. But we can also do other things as well as that, can't we? And it's a very strange world at the moment, and I don't know where it's all going. Does anybody? I've been resisting. I've had a kind of sudden, like, infestation is too strong, but like all these little black flies have started appearing where I live. I don't know where they've come from, and I try to get them out. They're so tiny that I try to get them out with little bits under a glass and with a bit of paper underneath it, but they're so hard to catch, or they're so reluctant to go, and then they zip back in out the into the window again. And sometimes I've accidentally killed one of them, or two or more, accidentally, and then but they're getting a bit kind of ended up in my tea and stuff like that. And I don't know where. I looked up on the interwebs, and it said, oh, you could pour some hot water down the drain. And another thing it said was, if you're leaving ripe fruit out, well, I don't have ripe fruit, but I do have this little plastic container with stuff from a salad that I've made, or banana skins that I kind of leave building up to a certain extent. And then I put it on this little compost heap I'm making on the ground just outside. So maybe that's to do with it, or the drain, or a bit of both, or something else. There's nothing more sinister than that. I don't know, Anyway, leave it there. But might do a few other little bits on video. But I sent off some more FOIs to Betsy Cadwallader, and I put in posts the other day as well. See, I keep drifting back to it, but it's always on my mind. Betsy Cadwallader University Health Board was put in special measures in 2015. Put in special measures, so as I put in the post, might that have been one of the drivers? Might that have been one of the drivers for increased number of mums residing in Wales wanting to give birth across the border, as it were, in those English hospitals in the northwest, in the Cheshire and Merseyside area. But there's other questions I've been asking them, and also of the other hospitals, lots of other questions I want to ask, because you start asking one set of questions and then it leads to something else, and you think, if you could put it all in one big request, but I think it would be overwhelming to them, and then they'd probably say, oh, that's going to cost too much money too much time, and time is money, as some people say. So they would say they'd bat it back and they wouldn't give you an answer. So you've got to kind of do it piecemeal, I think, anyway. I think so. Seems to be the case. But there's more to find out about all that. And, very, very helpfully, Michelle Warden has told me what the levels were. I'm still trying to get a handle on what the 2+ is in terms of, I know what Michelle said, but in terms of asking them directly, did that mean they were looking after level 3 babies there, or only certain ones? Or were they sending, or obviously we know already they were sending some to the Countess of Chester from that region, which is a level 2 unit. So, and stuff like that. So it's kind of trying to dig in a little bit more under the whole purpose of it, in broad terms, is just to ascertain from every possible angle what was different about 2015 and 2016. What was different in terms of pressure from within the Northwest network, from within the Northwest network, and from without it, pressures coming from outside of that region. So that's the point of it, and it might mean going down certain directions that end up as a kind of cul-de-sac, but just to check them out, But anyway, I've diverted again. But yeah, I might give it another go with some other lyrics that I wrote, or another song I wrote, and then the AI thing will just put the little tune to it, and the tune to it, and the orchestration. It sounds very professional, and the singer. Who are the singers? Have they kind of sampled person's voice? Is it a real person's voice, and they sampled it, or is it a machine? I'm not sure I want to know. Anyway, take care. Good night. Have a nice... It doesn't feel like Saturday today. Time is going very strange, and I don't recognise it as Saturday. Well, it's Sunday now, and it doesn't feel like Sunday either. Was that a song by the Smiths? Every day's like Sunday. Well, I don't know what time. There's some theories that time changed at different points in the recent past. Some people feel that time has definitely changed since 2020. I sometimes think that, but I don't know. Some days, because I try to do these like meditation things, and I'm looking at a clock now and again to look how many seconds. Sometimes the seconds seem to be going faster than other days. That's all I'll say. That's all I'm saying. And other times they're slower. Good night.